1 in 3 people who actively try to practice gratitude report feeling worse, not better. They feel a deeper sense of failure. They feel more cynical about themselves. This truth is often whispered in private. It is rarely spoken aloud on programs like this one. You are told to just be grateful. You are told to count your blessings. You are told to simply think positive thoughts. This advice comes from a good place, yet it often misses the mark entirely. It can feel like you are being asked to ignore your very real pain. It can feel like you are being asked to paper over your true struggles. This approach creates a deep internal conflict. It leaves you feeling isolated and misunderstood. What if everything you thought you knew about gratitude was fundamentally incomplete? What if the common wisdom actively prevents true well-being? We are going to explore a powerful new understanding today. Many people approach gratitude as a simple mental exercise. They list a few things they are thankful for each morning. They write them in a journal. They say them out loud. They expect a magical shift. The shift rarely comes. Instead, they often encounter a wall of resistance. Their real problems still exist. Their genuine pain still hurts. The forced positivity feels hollow. It feels disingenuous. This struggle is not a personal failing on your part. It is a systemic flaw in the advice itself. The current approach lacks depth. It lacks a real understanding of human psychology. It lacks a true mental framework. Think of it like trying to build a strong house with only a hammer. You have a tool, you know the goal, but you lack the blueprints, you lack the other essential equipment. The structure will inevitably crumble. The impact of this superficial approach is profound. It leads to frustration. It leads to self-blame. It makes people give up on gratitude entirely. They believe it simply does not work for them. This common failure is not just anecdotal. It is observed in countless attempts to implement gratitude programs. Many interventions show only minimal or fleeting benefits. Some even produce negative results. One major reason for this failure is the concept of toxic positivity. This is the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy and optimistic state. It denies difficult emotions. It invalidates authentic experiences. When you are told to just be grateful while facing a major crisis, you feel dismissed. Your feelings are not acknowledged. Your struggles are not seen. This creates a barrier to genuine emotional processing. It is like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. The intention might be good, but the advice is harmful. It ignores the reality of their condition. It delays real healing. This superficiality also prevents the deep integration of gratitude. True gratitude is not a fleeting thought. It is a profound shift in perspective. It is a way of engaging with the world. Forcing gratitude can feel like wearing a mask. You put on a happy face for others. You put it on for yourself, but underneath, the real emotions simmer. They remain unaddressed. The data consistently shows that interventions lacking psychological depth struggle. They fail to create lasting change. They fail to provide tools for navigating real-world challenges. They are often forgotten quickly. Many programs focus solely on the what of gratitude. They tell you what to be grateful for. They do not teach you the how or the why. They miss the fundamental mechanisms. Imagine trying to learn a complex skill like playing a musical instrument. You are given a list of notes. You are told to play them. But you are not taught technique. You are not taught theory. You might make some sounds. You might even play a simple tune. But you will never achieve mastery. You will never truly understand the music. The same applies to gratitude. The lack of a robust mental framework is critical. People need a system. They need a structure. They need to understand the underlying principles. They need more than just a suggestion. The absence of this deeper understanding is why so many people feel stuck. They try, they fail. They conclude that gratitude is simply not for them. They miss out on its true benefits. This program aims to change that reality for you. We will delve into a scientifically proven approach. We will uncover a method that moves beyond superficiality. It moves beyond toxic positivity. We will explore a groundbreaking study. This research provides a new blueprint. It offers a powerful pathway to genuine gratitude. It offers a pathway to lasting well-being. The story begins in a time of global crisis. The world was gripped by the COVID-19 pandemic. Its impact was far-reaching. It touched every corner of the globe. Mental health challenges soared during this period. People of all ages struggled. Adolescents, in particular, faced immense pressure. Their routines were disrupted. Their social connections were strained. The future felt uncertain for many young people. Anxiety levels rose sharply. Depression became more prevalent. The need for effective mental health interventions was urgent. It was critical. In Kenya, a team of dedicated researchers observed this unfolding crisis. They saw the profound suffering among young people. They understood the immediate need for support. They felt a deep sense of responsibility. This team was led by brilliant minds like Dr. K.E. Venturokunurli. They were not content with temporary fixes. They sought a universal solution. They wanted something that truly worked. They wanted to create an intervention. This intervention needed to be accessible. It needed to be scalable. It needed to be culturally relevant for Kenyan adolescents. This was no small task. The researchers knew that traditional mental health services were often scarce. They were sometimes stigmatized. They often failed to reach those who needed them most. A new approach was essential. They developed something called the Shamiri intervention. The word Shamiri holds deep meaning. It means flourish in Swahili. This name encapsulated their ultimate goal. They wanted young people to thrive. The Shamiri intervention was not a single, simple idea. It was a comprehensive program. It was designed to address multiple facets of mental well-being. It aimed to build resilience. The team meticulously crafted its components. They drew from established psychological principles. They integrated new insights. They created a truly innovative mental framework. But how do you prove that an intervention truly works? How do you know which parts are most effective? You conduct a rigorous scientific study. You leave no stone unturned. They designed what is known as a 5-arm randomized controlled trial. This is the gold standard in research. It allows scientists to compare different approaches. It helps them isolate true impact. Imagine a large group of young people. They are all struggling. They are all seeking help. The researchers randomly assigned them to different groups. Each group received a different intervention. One group received the full Shamiri intervention. This was the complete program. Another group received only specific parts of it. They wanted to understand each component's contribution. There was also a control group. This group received standard care. They served as a baseline for comparison. This allowed the researchers to measure true effectiveness. The stakes were incredibly high. Thousands of young lives hung in the balance. The potential to alleviate suffering was immense. The hope for a breakthrough was palpable. The researchers carefully implemented the program. They trained facilitators. They ensured consistency. They meticulously collected data from every participant. Every detail mattered. They observed the adolescents closely over time. They measured changes in depression symptoms. They tracked levels of anxiety. They assessed overall mental well-being. The data collection phase was long and arduous. It required immense dedication. The team worked tirelessly. They wanted to ensure the integrity of their findings. As the data started to come in, a clear picture began to emerge. The initial results were promising. There were signs of genuine impact. The Shamiri intervention was making a difference. The researchers analyzed the mountain of information. They looked for patterns. They looked for significant changes. They sought to understand the mechanisms at play. They compared the outcomes across all 5 groups. They scrutinized every statistic. They wanted to pinpoint what was truly working. They wanted to understand why. The findings were profound. Certain components of the Shamiri intervention stood out. They demonstrated remarkable effectiveness. They offered a new path forward. They showed that a specific, structured approach to well-being could indeed help. It could help young people navigate immense challenges. It could help them flourish. This was not a simple suggestion. This was not just counting blessings. This was a carefully designed mental framework. It was built on solid scientific ground. The study revealed a powerful truth about human resilience. It showed how targeted interventions can create profound shifts. It offered hope in a time of despair. The researchers identified the key ingredients. They understood which elements truly drove positive change. They unlocked a deeper understanding of mental health. Their work provided a new lens through which to view gratitude. It was no longer a superficial act. It was a dynamic process. It was a powerful tool for transformation. The Shamiri intervention offered a stark contrast to the failed approaches. It was not about ignoring pain. It was about equipping individuals. It was about building inner strength. The implications of this research were enormous. It suggested that a different kind of gratitude was possible, a gratitude that was authentic, a gratitude that truly healed. The study moved beyond the simplistic notions. It delved into the complex interplay of human emotions. It offered a roadmap for genuine well-being. It offered a way to truly flourish. The tension in the research team was immense during the analysis. They knew they were on the cusp of something significant. They were about to reveal a powerful secret. They were about to show the world how to truly cultivate gratitude, not as a forced smile, not as a superficial affirmation, but as a deeply ingrained mental framework. Their findings challenged conventional wisdom. They provided empirical evidence. They offered a path beyond toxic positivity. They offered a path to real change. The specific details of their discovery would revolutionize how we approach gratitude. They would change how we understand mental health. They would change lives. This rigorous scientific inquiry provided the answers. It showed what truly works. It showed what does not. It offered a clear direction for genuine personal development. The world needed these answers more than ever. The pandemic had exposed vulnerabilities. It had highlighted the urgent need for effective support systems. The Shamiri intervention represented a beacon of hope. It was a testament to human ingenuity. It was a commitment to alleviating suffering. It was a promise of flourishing. The researchers had not just conducted a study, they had embarked on a quest for understanding, a quest for impact, a quest for a better way. And their findings were about to change everything. They were about to redefine gratitude. They were about to unlock its true power. They were about to show us how to truly flourish. Imagine a woman named Maria. Her story perfectly illustrates this profound truth. Maria had always been a resilient person. She built a successful career in publishing. She navigated life's usual ups and downs. Then, her world shifted dramatically. A new technology swept through her industry. Maria's company downsized significantly. She found herself without a job. She was 47 years old. Her entire professional identity evaporated. The initial shock was immense. Maria felt a deep sense of betrayal. She had dedicated 2 decades to that company. Now, she felt like a disposable asset. Anger and fear became her constant companions. Friends offered well-meaning advice. Just be grateful for what you have, they would say. At least you're healthy. Think of the new opportunities. These words felt hollow to Maria. They felt dismissive of her genuine pain. She tried to force herself to feel grateful. She made lists of blessings. She focused on her lovely home. She thought about her supportive family. Yet, a knot of bitterness remained. It tightened in her stomach. This was the exact kind of toxic positivity we discussed. It demanded an emotional bypass. It asked her to ignore her very real suffering. It felt like papering over a gaping wound. It offered no real solace. Then Maria discovered a new approach. It was inspired by the Shamiri interventions principles. This was not about denying her reality. It was about engaging with it more deeply. It was a rigorous mental framework. She began by acknowledging her loss fully. She allowed herself to feel the anger. She sat with the fear of the unknown. This was uncomfortable work. It felt counterintuitive at first. Her first concrete decision was small. She decided to track her emotional responses. She noted when the bitterness flared. She observed what triggered her anxiety. She did this without judgment. Next, she started looking for tiny insights, not blessings, but insights within the struggle. What did this job loss reveal about her values? What skills did she truly enjoy using? What parts of her old role had exhausted her? This was a subtle but powerful shift. She was not grateful for losing her job. That would be absurd. She was grateful for the clarity it started to provide. She was grateful for the opportunity to reflect. One evening, she remembered a passion. It was for helping people craft their stories. This had been a small part of her old job. She always loved mentoring junior editors. It brought her genuine joy. Her concrete decision was to explore this further. She volunteered at a local nonprofit. They needed help with grant writing. This was a low-stakes way to test her interest. It was a step, not a leap. The measurable result was almost immediate. She felt a spark of purpose return. The knot in her stomach began to loosen. She was still unemployed, yes, but she was no longer adrift. She realized something profound. Her previous gratitude lists were like a flimsy dam. They tried to hold back a flood of genuine emotion. This new approach was like a powerful river guide. It helped her navigate the currents. Maria started to see her career setback differently. It was not a punishment. It was a redirection. It was a painful, yet ultimately formative experience. This discernment was key. She began networking with renewed energy. Her conversations were different now. She spoke not of what she had lost. She spoke of what she was discovering. She spoke of her evolving strengths. People responded to her authenticity. They sensed her genuine self-awareness. One contact suggested a new field. It was focused on executive coaching. It emphasized narrative development. This felt like a perfect fit. It combined her love for stories. It used her mentorship skills. It leveraged her deep industry knowledge. It was a path she would never have considered before. Maria committed to a certification program. It required significant time and effort. She tapped into her newfound resilience. She pursued this new direction with vigor. Her confidence grew daily. The measurable result was astonishing. Within 9 months, Maria launched her own coaching practice. She was working with clients she adored. She felt more fulfilled than ever before. Her income surpassed her old salary. Her story is not about denying hardship. It is about transforming it. It is about using the friction of struggle. It is about forging a new path forward. This is beyond superficial gratitude. This is what the Shamiri intervention illuminated. It is a mental framework for discerning. It helps you find genuine value in difficult experiences. It helps you build authentic inner strength. It works by shifting your brain's focus. Our brains are wired for survival. They constantly scan for threats. This is an ancient, powerful mechanism. It kept our ancestors alive. In modern life, this can backfire. We can become hyper-focused on negatives. We see problems everywhere. We anticipate worst-case scenarios. This creates chronic stress. Superficial gratitude tries to override this. It tells your brain to look away. It says, "Don't see the danger." It tries to force a positive outlook. This rarely works long-term. Your brain knows the threat is still there. It perceives a disconnect. It mistrusts the forced positivity. It stays in a state of alert. This exhausts your mental resources. The deeper gratitude works differently. It acknowledges the threat directly. It says, "Yes, this is hard. Yes, this is painful." It validates your initial emotional response. Then it asks a different question. What information can I gather here? What am I learning in this moment? What capacities am I discovering within myself? It engages the challenge. Think of it like a master craftsman. Imagine them working with a piece of wood. This is not just any wood. It is an old, gnarled, imperfect trunk. It has knots and cracks. It has uneven grain. A lesser craftsman might try to hide these flaws. They might sand it smooth. They might paint over the imperfections. They might try to force it into a perfect shape. The wood would resist. It would eventually crack. It would lose its inherent character. It would become something generic. Its true strength would be overlooked. Its unique beauty would be lost. The master craftsman does something different. They do not ignore the knots. They do not dismiss the cracks. They do not try to erase the uneven grain. They study each detail intently. They run their hands over the surface. They feel the texture. They observe the unique patterns. They see the wood for what it truly is. They understand its inherent strengths and weaknesses. They ask, how can I work with this wood? How can I honor its natural form? How can these imperfections become features? They see potential where others see only flaws. They might carve around a knot. They might use a crack to define a new line. They might highlight the swirling grain. They transform the wood without denying its reality. They create something magnificent. This is precisely how authentic gratitude functions. Your life is that piece of wood. Your challenges are the knots and cracks. Your struggles are the uneven grain. They are part of your story. Toxic positivity is like the lesser craftsman. It tries to sand away your pain. It tries to paint over your struggles. It tells you to ignore the very texture of your experience. It demands a perfectly smooth, flawless life. It asks you to pretend everything is fine. It makes you feel guilty for your natural feelings. This approach is ultimately unsustainable. It creates internal resistance. It denies your authentic self. It prevents genuine growth. It leaves you feeling unfulfilled. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of pretending. Authentic gratitude is the master craftsman. It acknowledges your pain. It recognizes your struggles. It validates your difficult emotions. It sees them as part of your unique story. It asks, what can I learn from this knot? What strength can I find in this crack? How does this uneven grain add character? It seeks understanding within the imperfection. It does not demand you be grateful for the pain. It asks you to be grateful for what the pain reveals. It asks you to appreciate the resilience you discover. It helps you discern new pathways. This process is not easy. It requires courage. It demands self-compassion. It asks for deep introspection. But its impact is truly transformative. It builds genuine inner strength. It rewires your brain's perception. It shifts from threat avoidance alone. It moves towards discerning growth. It builds neural pathways for resilience. It strengthens your capacity for well-being. You start to see challenges not just as obstacles. You see them as complex data points. They provide valuable information. They reveal hidden strengths within you. They guide your future actions. This brings us to a profound paradox. It is a twist that changes everything. We often believe gratitude means feeling good. We think it means being happy about our circumstances. We are taught to seek out the positive. We are told to ignore the negative. This is the core of toxic positivity. It is a well-meaning but ultimately damaging instruction. The paradox is this: genuine gratitude often requires you to confront your pain directly. It demands you lean into your discomfort. It asks you to acknowledge your suffering fully. It is through this courageous confrontation, it is through this honest engagement, it is there, in the very heart of difficulty, that true, authentic gratitude often emerges. Think back to Maria's story. She did not start by feeling grateful. She started by feeling angry and afraid. She allowed herself to experience the depth of her loss. This was crucial. Her breakthrough came when she asked, "What is this revealing? Not what is good about this, but what is this teaching me?" That subtle shift changed her entire perspective. It closed the unanswered question from earlier: how can gratitude be authentic and truly heal? It heals by integrating the shadow. It heals by finding wisdom in the struggle. It is not about denying the darkness. It is about understanding its contours. It is about seeing how it shapes you. It is about finding the light within the shadow. This is the deeper truth of gratitude. It is not a superficial act. It is a dynamic process of discernment. It is a powerful tool for transformation. It is a path to genuine flourishing. So what does this mean for you? How do you apply this? When faced with a difficult situation, do not rush to find the silver lining. Do not force a smile. Do not bypass your pain. Instead, pause and acknowledge your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the discomfort. Lean into the tension. Validate your experience fully. This is the first courageous step. Then ask yourself, what is this moment revealing? What might I be learning here? What capacity am I discovering? Look for the insights, not just the blessings. This is not about being grateful for the challenge. It is about being grateful for the growth that the challenge can facilitate. It is about appreciating your own resilience. It is about finding the strength to navigate. It is about discerning new pathways forward. It is about cultivating a deeper, more robust sense of well-being. This changes everything. It means your most difficult moments, your deepest struggles, your most painful experiences, they are not just things to endure. They are not just things to escape. They are also profound teachers. They are powerful catalysts for growth. They are opportunities to build resilience. They are the very raw material of a meaningful life. This journey is not always linear. There will be days of doubt. There will be moments of frustration. There will be times when you simply feel exhausted. This is normal. Remember the master craftsmen. They do not finish their work in a single day. They return to the wood again and again. They patiently shape it. They honor its inherent nature. You are the craftsman of your own life. Your experiences are your raw material. This deeper gratitude is your most powerful tool. It helps you shape your future. It helps you build resilience. It helps you discover profound meaning. It helps you find genuine joy. It helps you cultivate a life of deep purpose. It helps you truly flourish. But here is something else to consider. What if this deeper gratitude, this powerful mental framework, what if it extends beyond your personal struggles? What if its impact is even broader? What if it has the power to transform communities? What if it could reshape our collective understanding of resilience? What if it could change the way we approach global challenges? What if this framework, applied on a larger scale, could unlock solutions we have not yet imagined? Could it foster empathy and understanding? Could it build bridges where there are walls? These questions are not easily answered. They require further exploration. They invite us to think bigger. They challenge us to consider the immense potential. The true impact of this work. We will delve into these possibilities next. We will explore how this discerning gratitude, this powerful mental framework, can extend its reach far beyond the individual. It can ripple outwards. It can change the world. Consider the story of a small town named Harmony Creek. For generations, its lifeblood was the vast timber mill. Every family knew someone who worked there. The mill provided stability, purpose, and a strong sense of identity. Then, without warning, the mill closed its doors forever. The news hit Harmony Creek like a physical blow. Despair settled over the community like a thick fog. People felt abandoned, angry, and utterly lost. The town elders, accustomed to traditional leadership, struggled to respond. They tried to organize rallies, they sought government grants. They hoped for a miracle. Their efforts often felt hollow. They did not address the deep emotional wound. Many residents simply packed their bags and left. They sought new futures elsewhere. Those who remained felt trapped. Their collective spirit was slowly eroding. Into this difficult situation stepped Maria. Maria was not an elder. She was a librarian. She possessed a quiet strength. She had a deep love for her community. Maria understood that simply trying to be positive would not work. She knew that people needed to grieve. They needed to acknowledge their profound loss. She saw the pain in their eyes. She felt the weight of their collective sorrow. Maria began by organizing informal gatherings. She called them community story circles. There was no agenda initially. People simply shared their experiences. They spoke of their anger. They spoke of their fear. They shared their memories of the mill. They recounted the good times and the hard times. Maria listened patiently to every word. She validated their raw emotions. She did not offer quick solutions. She created a safe space for genuine expression. This was crucial. This allowed the true feelings to surface. It allowed the community to collectively grieve. This process was messy. It was uncomfortable at times. But it was also deeply healing. It was the first step towards discerning gratitude. It recognized the full spectrum of their experience. It honored their past. As weeks turned into months, a subtle shift began to occur. People still felt sad. They still felt uncertain. But they also began to speak of other things. They remembered the resilient spirit of their ancestors. They recalled the tight-knit bonds of their community. They spoke of the natural beauty surrounding Harmony Creek. They started to see beyond the mill's absence. Maria gently guided these conversations. She did not force positivity. She simply asked questions. What are the hidden strengths we still possess? What resources remain untouched? What have we learned from our history? She helped them look for insights. She helped them see the inherent capacities. She helped them recognize the enduring spirit. One evening, an elderly woman named Clara spoke. She had worked at the mill for 50 years. She shared a story about the old logging trails. She mentioned the forgotten art of wood carving her grandfather had taught her as a child. Others began to remember similar skills. They spoke of local foraging. They spoke of artisanal crafts. They talked about the river. Maria realized something profound. The community was not empty. It was not devoid of value. It was simply looking in the wrong direction. The mill's closure was not just an end. It was also a revelation. It revealed what else was truly there. It revealed the bedrock of their collective identity. It revealed their untapped potential. This was discerning gratitude in action. It was not being grateful for the mill's closure. It was being grateful for the profound wisdom it unveiled. It was appreciating the latent resilience. It was recognizing the inherent gifts within the community. It was seeing the opportunities that had always been present. They were simply overshadowed by the mill's dominance. Maria then proposed a bold idea. She suggested creating a heritage arts and nature center. It would repurpose an old, abandoned schoolhouse. It would celebrate local craftsmanship. It would offer workshops on traditional skills. It would guide tours through the natural landscape. It would highlight the town's unique history. It would honor their past. The community embraced the idea with surprising enthusiasm. The initial resistance had melted away. Their shared grief had forged a new bond. Their collective discernment had revealed a path forward. People volunteered their time. They donated materials. They brought their forgotten tools. They shared their long-dormant skills. The measurable result was astonishing. Within 2 years, the Harmony Creek Heritage Arts and Nature Center opened. It became a hub of activity. It attracted tourists from nearby cities. It created new jobs. It revitalized the local economy. More importantly, it restored the community's sense of pride. It rekindled their shared purpose. The impact was far greater than economic. It transformed the collective spirit. It shifted their mental framework. Harmony Creek learned that true strength was not dependent on a single industry. It resided within their collective ingenuity. It lived in their deep connection to each other. It flourished in their discerning appreciation of their own story. Maria's story illustrates a powerful truth. Discerning gratitude is not just a personal practice. It is a catalyst for collective transformation. It empowers communities to navigate adversity. It helps them discover new pathways to flourishing. It moves them beyond despair. It builds a more robust collective resilience. But how exactly does this mechanism work? What is happening in our brains? What unfolds in our real-life interactions? Imagine a dense, ancient forest. For centuries, a single towering tree dominated the canopy. Its branches spread wide, its roots ran deep. All other life in its shadow struggled to thrive. Its presence was overwhelming. Then one day, a fierce storm swept through the land. The mighty tree, for all its grandeur, was struck by lightning. It splintered and fell, its colossal form crashed to the forest floor. The immediate impact was devastating. The forest seemed to hold its breath. A vast, empty space was left in the canopy. Debris lay everywhere. This is often how we perceive loss. It feels like an irreparable void. It seems like the end of everything. We focus on the absence. We mourn the fallen giant. We feel the profound shock. We see only the destruction. We experience the deep emotional pain. We do not immediately see beyond it. Toxic positivity in this metaphor would be like painting the fallen tree a bright color. It would pretend the tree was still standing. It would ignore the gaping hole in the canopy. It would deny the debris on the forest floor. It would offer empty platitudes. It would suggest that everything is fine. This approach does not honor reality. Discerning gratitude, however, operates differently. It acknowledges the fallen tree. It recognizes the immense loss. It processes the destruction. It does not ignore the empty space. It feels the initial shock. It understands the forest's pain. It respects the natural cycle of life and death. It looks at the reality. But then it does something more. It looks deeper into the forest floor. It notices the sunlight now streaming into previously shaded areas. It observes the tiny saplings that had been stunted. They are now reaching for the light. It sees the rich nutrients released by the decaying wood. It recognizes the new life emerging. The fallen tree, once a symbol of dominance and loss, becomes something else. It becomes a nurse log. It nourishes new growth. It creates new habitats. It transforms the ecosystem. The forest is not returning to its old form. It is evolving into something different. It is adapting. It is becoming more diverse. It is finding new balance. The mechanism in our minds works similarly. When we face a significant challenge or loss, our initial response is to focus on the fallen tree. We perceive the void. We feel the pain. Our brain's amygdala, the center for fear and emotion, goes into overdrive. It triggers a stress response. It prepares us for fight or flight. Discerning gratitude does not bypass this initial reaction. It does not deny the amygdala's alarm. Instead, it engages the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of our brain responsible for executive functions. It handles planning, decision-making, and complex thought. It helps us regulate emotions. It allows for deeper analysis. By consciously pausing and asking, "What is this moment revealing?" or "What might I be learning here?" we shift neural pathways. We move from a purely reactive state to a reflective one. We actively search for patterns, we look for connections. We identify new information, we begin to discern the nurse log. This shift is not about thinking positive. It is about thinking deeply. It is about activating different parts of our brain. It is about broadening our perspective. It is about finding meaning in the midst of adversity. It is about seeing the hidden opportunities. It is about understanding the full picture. This process builds new neural connections. It strengthens our capacity for resilience. It creates a more flexible mental framework. It allows us to adapt more effectively. It helps us find creative solutions. It transforms our relationship with challenges. It prepares us for future growth. This brings us to a profound paradox. It is an unexpected twist that changes everything. The deepest, most enduring forms of gratitude do not arise from a life free of struggle. They often emerge directly from the crucible of our most painful experiences. This is counterintuitive. It challenges our conventional wisdom. We often believe that true joy comes from avoiding pain. We think that peace means an absence of conflict. We strive for a life of smooth sailing. We imagine a state where everything is simply good. We associate gratitude with these easy blessings. We seek comfort and ease. Yet consider the person who has overcome a serious illness. Their gratitude for each healthy day is profound. It is not a superficial, everything is great feeling. It is a deep, embodied appreciation. It is born from knowing what it means to struggle. It is rooted in their vulnerability. Think about the community that rebuilt after a devastating natural disaster. Their gratitude for their neighbors, their appreciation for collective action, their reverence for the land. This is not a naive happiness. It is a hard-won wisdom. It comes from facing destruction together. It emerges from shared effort. The paradox is this: by fully embracing our vulnerability, by truly acknowledging the depths of our pain, we unlock an unparalleled capacity for genuine gratitude. It is not about being grateful for the pain itself. It is about being grateful for what the pain reveals. It is about what it forces us to confront. It is about what it compels us to become. This is the answer to our earlier question. How can this framework, applied on a larger scale, foster empathy and understanding? How can it build bridges where there are walls? It does so by creating a shared space of vulnerability. It asks us to collectively acknowledge our fallen trees. It invites us to feel the collective pain. When a community or a society can openly admit its struggles, when it can bravely face its collective wounds, when it can sit with its shared discomfort, that is when true empathy blossoms. That is when understanding deepens. That is when genuine connection is forged. Superficial positivity cannot achieve this. Toxic positivity builds walls. It forces people to hide their struggles. It creates an expectation of constant happiness. It generates shame for feeling anything less. It denies the shared human experience. It isolates individuals. It prevents true connection. It hinders collective action. Discerning gratitude dismantles these walls. It invites authenticity. It fosters a space where all emotions are valid. It recognizes that shared vulnerability is the foundation of strength. It understands that true progress comes from integrating our shadows. It builds bridges of shared humanity. When we collectively discern the nurse logs within our shared challenges, when we look for the insights, the capacities, the new growth, when we find the meaning in our collective struggles, that is when we unlock solutions we have not yet imagined. That is when we find pathways forward. This framework reshapes our collective understanding of resilience. Resilience is not about bouncing back to exactly where we were before. It is about integrating the experience. It is about adapting and evolving. It is about becoming stronger and wiser through the process. It is about building something new. It changes the way we approach global challenges. Imagine if nations, instead of only focusing on blame or superficial solutions, could engage in this deeper discernment. If they could acknowledge shared vulnerabilities, if they could collectively seek the underlying wisdom, if they could find the new pathways. This is not a simplistic call for global hugs. It is a powerful mental framework. It is a rigorous process of collective inquiry. It is an invitation to profound empathy. It is a commitment to shared growth. It recognizes the inherent dignity of all experiences. It honors the full human journey. The true impact of this work is immense. It moves beyond individual well-being. It extends into the fabric of our communities. It touches the very systems we inhabit. It challenges us to rethink our assumptions about progress. It asks us to redefine success. It compels us to seek deeper meaning. The paradox of gratitude is a guiding light. It shows us that strength is not found in denial. It is found in courageous acknowledgement. It reveals that joy is not found in avoiding sorrow. It is found in integrating it. It teaches us that true connection comes from shared vulnerability. This understanding is transformative. It allows us to face immense challenges. It empowers us to build a more compassionate world. It helps us cultivate a collective life of deep purpose. It helps us truly flourish. Together, it creates a sustainable path forward. But this journey of collective discernment is not without its own complexities. What happens when the fallen tree is not just an event, but a deep-seated injustice? What happens when the pain is not just a personal struggle, but a systemic oppression? Can discerning gratitude truly penetrate and reshape those deeply ingrained structures? Can it dismantle centuries of imbalance? This is where the real work begins. This is where the real work begins. We acknowledge that the challenges we face are often deeply complex. They are not merely personal struggles or isolated incidents. They are woven into the very fabric of our societies. Systemic injustices, historical oppressions, and ingrained imbalances present a formidable landscape. They require more than simple personal reflection. They demand a profound and sustained commitment. Our mental framework of discerning gratitude must rise to meet these immense complexities. It must offer tools for engagement. It must provide a pathway for meaningful action. However, even with the best intentions, we often stumble. We make common errors that prevent us from fully harnessing this power. We inadvertently dilute our own impact. Recognizing these missteps is not about self-blame. It is about understanding the human condition. It is about refining our approach. It is about becoming more effective agents of change. The first common mistake we often make is the rush to solution. We see a problem, and our immediate impulse is to fix it. We want to alleviate the discomfort quickly. This urgency often stems from a genuine desire to help. It also comes from our own discomfort with sustained pain. We want to bypass the difficult parts of the process. When we rush to fix, we often miss crucial underlying dynamics. We implement superficial remedies. We fail to address the root causes of the fallen tree. Imagine a community facing a high rate of youth unemployment. A well-meaning organization might immediately propose job training programs. This seems like a logical solution. However, if they rush, they might overlook deeper issues. Perhaps the local education system is failing. Maybe there are cultural barriers to certain types of work. Perhaps the youth lack access to reliable transportation. A quick fix, while offering temporary relief, will not create sustainable change. It will not truly dismantle the problem. This rush to solution can manifest as a superficial form of gratitude. We might feel grateful for the temporary relief. We might celebrate small, immediate wins. Yet, we fail to discern the deeper lessons within the struggle itself. We miss the opportunity to transform the entire system. We only patch up visible symptoms. True discerning gratitude requires us to sit with the problem. It asks us to resist the urge to immediately solve everything. It calls for patient, deep inquiry. It means understanding the full scope of the fallen tree. It means asking why it fell in the first place. It means looking for the hidden insights it offers. The second common mistake is the blame game. It is easy to point fingers outward. We assign responsibility solely to external forces. We absolve ourselves of any role. When facing systemic issues, this tendency becomes even more pronounced. We blame corporations, governments, or historical figures. We see ourselves as helpless victims. While external factors are undeniably powerful, exclusive blame prevents personal agency. It disempowers us from finding our own points of leverage. It fosters a sense of futility. Consider someone constantly frustrated with their career path. They might blame the economy. They might blame their boss or their company's policies. They might blame their industry. While some of these factors might be true, this perspective limits their options. It stops them from asking deeper questions. It prevents them from exploring their own choices. They might not ask what skills they could cultivate. They might not consider new networks. They might not reflect on their own contributions to the dynamic. The blame game robs us of our power to discern. It traps us in a cycle of grievance. It keeps us from seeing the nurse logs within our own sphere of influence. Discerning gratitude encourages a different approach. It acknowledges external realities. It simultaneously invites us to examine our own relationship to the challenge. It asks where we do have agency. It asks what insights we can gain. It asks how we can adapt and contribute, even in difficult circumstances. The third common mistake is the isolated effort. We often try to tackle immense challenges alone. We believe our individual passion and dedication will be enough. This singular focus can lead to rapid burnout. It creates a sense of overwhelming responsibility. It prevents the synergistic power of collective action. Systemic problems are, by definition, complex and interconnected. They require diverse perspectives. They demand shared resources and varied skill sets. Imagine a passionate individual deeply committed to environmental justice. They might dedicate countless hours to research. They might attend every meeting. They might try to single-handedly organize protests. While their dedication is admirable, this isolated effort is often unsustainable. It can lead to exhaustion and despair. They might feel the weight of the entire world on their shoulders. They might miss opportunities for collaboration. They might overlook existing networks of support. This isolated effort often stems from a misunderstanding of resilience. We think resilience is about our individual capacity to endure. We forget its communal dimension. Discerning gratitude reminds us that we are part of a larger ecosystem. Our individual fallen trees are often connected to others. Our nurse logs can nourish many. It invites us to build bridges. It encourages us to seek out fellow travelers. It shows us that shared vulnerability is a source of collective strength. These three mistakes, the rush to solution, the blame game, and the isolated effort, are deeply human. They are understandable responses to pain and complexity. However, recognizing them is the first step toward a more impactful approach. It allows us to engage with discerning gratitude in a truly transformative way. Now, let us turn to a concrete, step-by-step method. This process will help you navigate challenges. It will allow you to move beyond these common pitfalls. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is a practical pathway. It is designed to help you integrate discerning gratitude into your daily life. It applies to both personal and collective struggles. First, you must practice deep acknowledgement and radical acceptance. This means truly seeing the fallen tree in its entirety. You must observe its dimensions. Resist the immediate urge to label it good or bad. Do not try to minimize its impact. Do not try to instantly find a silver lining. Simply acknowledge the reality of the situation. Feel the emotions that arise. Allow yourself to experience any discomfort, sadness, or anger. This is not passive resignation. It is an active and courageous engagement with what is. It means saying, yes, this is happening. This is the current reality. This acceptance creates a stable foundation. For example, if you face a significant career setback like job loss, acknowledge the full weight of it. Feel the fear, the disappointment, the uncertainty. Do not gloss over these feelings. Just allow them to be present. This deep acknowledgement prevents the rush to solution. It creates space for genuine understanding. It honors your full human experience. Second, engage in the inquiry into nurse logs. Once you have deeply acknowledged the situation, begin to ask profound questions. These questions are not about blame. They are about discernment. Ask, what insights are being revealed by this challenge? Ask, what previously unseen strengths are emerging within me or our community? Ask, what new capacities are we being called to develop? These questions shift your focus. They move you from victimhood to empowered inquiry. They seek wisdom within the difficulty. Continuing with the job loss example, after acknowledging the pain, you might ask, what did this job loss reveal about my true priorities? Or, what skills did I develop that I had not fully appreciated? Perhaps it revealed a need for better work-life balance. Maybe it highlighted a passion you had suppressed. This inquiry uncovers the latent potential within the fallen tree. Third, identify the seeds of new growth. Based on your inquiry, pinpoint specific, tangible opportunities. These are the nascent possibilities that have become visible. These are not grand, fully formed solutions yet. They are the small, clear indicators of a new direction. They are the initial sprouts emerging from the nurse log. Using our example, perhaps your inquiry revealed a desire for more creative work. The seed of new growth might be exploring a part-time course in graphic design. Or it could be reaching out to a specific mentor. It might be dedicating 1 hour a day to a personal passion project. These are concrete, actionable seeds. They are not overwhelming, they are specific and manageable. They provide a clear next step. They move you beyond the paralysis of the blame game. Fourth, commit to intentional cultivation. This is where you actively nurture those seeds of new growth. You take concrete, consistent actions. You tend to what is emerging. This cultivation requires discipline and patience. It is not about instant gratification. It is about steady, purposeful engagement. It means showing up for the new possibilities. For instance, if your seed was taking a graphic design course, intentional cultivation means enrolling. It means attending classes. It means practicing the new skills regularly. If it was reaching out to a mentor, it means drafting that email. It means scheduling the meeting. It means actively listening and engaging with their advice. This step directly counteracts the isolated effort. It often involves connecting with others. It means seeking resources. It means building your support network. Fifth, embrace the cycle of integration and adaptation. Recognize that this is not a linear process. Challenges will continue to arise. New, fallen trees will appear. Your capacity for discerning gratitude will deepen over time. You will become more adept at each step. You will learn to integrate new insights seamlessly. This means being flexible. It means being willing to adjust your course. It means understanding that growth is an ongoing, dynamic journey. It is never truly finished. It is about continually learning from every experience. It is about applying the mental framework again and again. It is about evolving with each cycle. This 5-step method provides a robust framework for action. It transforms challenges into catalysts for growth. It empowers you to navigate complexity with wisdom and purpose. Let me share a few quick examples of people who applied this with concrete, measurable results. These illustrate the power of this mental framework in action. Consider the story of a small town in the American Midwest. Its main factory closed down, leaving hundreds unemployed. The town faced economic devastation and despair. Instead of only blaming the corporation or government, the town leaders engaged in deep acknowledgement. They allowed the community to grieve. They truly felt the loss. Then they began their inquiry into nurse logs. They asked, "What unique skills do we still possess? What natural resources are abundant here? What community spirit remains strong?" They identified seeds of new growth. The town had a rich agricultural history. Many residents were skilled artisans. There was a strong desire for local, sustainable food. They intentionally cultivated these seeds. They launched a farmers market. They created co-ops for local artisans. They started small-scale food processing businesses. The measurable results were profound. Within 5 years, unemployment dropped by 20%. New businesses flourished. The town became a destination for local goods. The community spirit, once shattered, was revitalized. They had not just recovered, they had transformed. They built something new and more resilient. Another example is Sarah, who faced a life-altering diagnosis of an autoimmune disease. Initially, she was overwhelmed by fear and anger. She blamed her genetics. She blamed her past lifestyle. Through deep acknowledgement, she allowed herself to feel the full spectrum of her emotions. She accepted the reality of her illness without immediate judgment. Then she began her inquiry. She asked, "What is my body trying to tell me? What aspects of my health have I neglected? What strengths can I draw upon now?" She identified seeds of new growth. She realized she needed to radically change her diet. She needed to manage stress differently. She needed to advocate for herself with doctors. Her intentional cultivation involved extensive research. She joined a support group. She learned to cook nutrient-dense meals. She started practicing mindfulness daily. The measurable results were significant. Within 2 years, her symptoms substantially reduced. Her energy levels improved dramatically. She became an informed advocate for others. Her quality of life, initially severely impacted, was restored and even enhanced. She discovered a profound sense of purpose in helping others with similar conditions. Finally, consider a software development team that experienced a catastrophic project failure. Millions of dollars were lost, morale plummeted, blame was rampant. The team leader, instead of just assigning fault, facilitated a process of deep acknowledgement. They held open, honest sessions where everyone could share their experiences and feelings. Then they engaged in inquiry. They asked, "What did this failure teach us about our communication? What processes were missing? What assumptions proved false?" They identified seeds of new growth. They realized they needed clearer protocols for risk assessment. They needed to foster psychological safety for honest feedback. They needed better cross-functional collaboration. Their intentional cultivation involved implementing new agile methodologies. They invested in communication training. They established regular, transparent feedback loops. The measurable results were striking. On their next major project, they delivered it on time and under budget. Team cohesion reached unprecedented levels. Their productivity increased by 30%. The failure, once a source of shame, became the catalyst for their greatest success. It transformed their entire operational culture. These examples demonstrate that discerning gratitude is not a passive philosophy. It is an active, transformative mental framework. It yields tangible, positive results. You can begin this journey today. You do not need to wait for a major crisis. You can apply this framework to the small challenges in your everyday life. Your single action for today is simple. Think of one minor frustration you have experienced in the last 24 hours. Perhaps a delayed appointment, maybe a misunderstanding with a colleague. Instead of dwelling on the annoyance, ask yourself this one question. What unexpected insight did this small challenge reveal about my expectations, my patience, or my communication? Just notice the answer, do not judge it. Do not try to fix it, just allow the insight to surface. This is the first step toward cultivating deep acknowledgement and inquiry. This is how we begin to shift our perspective. This is how we start to see the nurse logs in our daily lives. This is how we build our capacity for true discerning gratitude. The journey of discerning gratitude is a profound one. It moves us beyond simplistic happiness. It takes us into the rich, complex tapestry of human experience. It shows us that strength is not found in denial. It is found in courageous acknowledgement of all that is. It reveals that joy is not found in avoiding sorrow. It is found in integrating it. It teaches us that true connection comes from shared vulnerability. It empowers us to face immense challenges. It helps us cultivate a collective life of deep purpose. This mental framework reshapes our understanding of resilience. It is not about bouncing back to exactly where we were before. It is about integrating the experience. It is about adapting and evolving. It is about becoming stronger and wiser through the process. It is about building something new. It changes the way we approach global challenges. It helps us truly flourish together. It creates a sustainable path forward. It is a powerful mental framework. It is a rigorous process of collective inquiry. It is an invitation to profound empathy. It is a commitment to shared growth. It recognizes the inherent dignity of all experiences. It honors the full human journey. The true impact of this work is immense. It moves beyond individual well-being. It extends into the fabric of our communities. It touches the very systems we inhabit. It challenges us to rethink our assumptions about progress. It asks us to redefine success. It compels us to seek deeper meaning. The paradox of gratitude is a guiding light. It shows us that strength is not found in denial. It is found in courageous acknowledgement. It reveals that joy is not found in avoiding sorrow. It is found in integrating it. It teaches us that true connection comes from shared vulnerability. This understanding is transformative. It allows us to face immense challenges. It empowers us to build a more compassionate world. It helps us cultivate a collective life of deep purpose. It helps us truly flourish together. It creates a sustainable path forward. Remember, every fallen tree holds the potential for new life. Every challenge contains the seeds of profound wisdom. Your journey of discernment begins now.